Witchcraft, an evil, eluding art lost to the ages. Or so you thought. This is a video about game loops in different games, and how game devs can use them to keep players engaged. This is also a video containing copious content related to froggy magic and quenching the thirst of power-hungry amphibians. Sounds good. Let's go! Story! I've been working on a game that exhibits a palace in a misty swamp. Meet Clint the Frog King. You see, he was almost completely satisfied. Indeed, his heart had only one unquelled desire: systemic bloodshed. You play as loyal frog subjects, training in King Clint's nifty employment witchcraft training program, slowly gaining blood harvesting skills to help Clint improve the efficiency of his blood sacrifices. Now that's a good work ethic. Game loops.
Game loops.
What is a game loop? Let's define that term. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In fact, option C was correct. Pat yourself on the back if you got it. It will be harder next time. So, if game loops define the tasks of the players, how does that look different between games? In Good Pizza, Great Pizza, a cozy pizzeria simulator, you have the game loop which governs the days, so you start a day, learn a skill or progress the story, cook meals, buy upgrades or decorations. But you also have the cooking loop, which is receive order, get dough, get sauce, get cheese, cook pizza, deliver pizza. Of course, you can imagine extensions to either of these. I'll just point out how in this game the story and skill segments are very spread out, but give you a nice sense of large-scale progression. Very addictive. Breath of the Wild! Choose a quest, fight monsters, buy things, gear up,
Take your down.
complete quest, unlock new quest, and do it again. World to the West. Talk to someone, try to figure out what in the world they're saying, wander around aimlessly for a jillion years, try to solve a puzzle that's meant to be totally cheesed by a power you don't have yet, and repeat. Not all game loops are super refined. Bonus board game, 5-minute dungeon, draw an enemy, use your cards and abilities, kill enemy, draw more cards. In fact, game loops exist in real life too. I got this enjoyable read for free from Unity, so if you know me in real life, just stop by and I'll lend it to you. It's a banger. I wanted a game loop. A good game loop keeps a player engaged in the actions of a game. Serendipitously, it will help me stay focused while designing. Scope creep is dangerous. I mean, seriously, do you see where it says home ownership on this brainstorming page? After brainstorming, I came up with exploring, gathering, and cooking. My goal was to make each of these fun and impactful. Exploring! Ploring. Okie dokie, exploring. Exploring is how we navigate worlds in video games. Peering around corners, rustling through bushes. Ever since early platformers like Mario and adventure games like The Legend of Zelda, character movement has been a staple mechanic. There's plenty of reasons why. For one, it's really fun and extendable. Games have taken this mechanic literally everywhere. In my frog game, I have this hilarious ski jump mechanic that is very addictive. Whee! But one reason is really important to note. It naturally ties game loops together. With the Breath of the Wild game loops, we see how important exploring is to transition between actions. We explore between quests, collection, boss fights, and more exploring. However, exploring is not inexhaustible and can even become tedious, which explains the clever use of teleportation towers in this game. In fact, one way to make exploring more consistently engaging is to add fun. Maybe you're going for mysterious, or suspenseful, or whimsical, like me. But polishing unfun mechanics
is a waste of time.
For example, you made a very realistic mining simulator, but exploring the same old cobblestone for hours isn't fun. Who's gonna play that? One might argue that serving an evil frog overlord who desires frog sacrifice isn't fun either. Actually, I beg to differ, and posit that you've probably never tried it. As for the landscape, alright, I enjoyed that. If you couldn't tell, I followed DJ Uni's lo-fi tutorial for smooth lo-fi beats that can make a grown man cry. Foraging! Gathering? If you're anything like me, you should be very proud of your Botwa apple collection. Apples, they taste good when they're baked. I could never eat them all cause I'd get a tummy ache. What am I doing? Pardon me, frog in my throat. Anyway, by this point you may be asking, why would anyone play a game that loops over itself? Well, that's because the term game loop is somewhat misleading. Truly, I would describe it as a game spiral. You need your game to build off of itself in a variety of ways. For exploration, you explore an increasing part of the map. Quests can easily build off of each other by telling a story or getting more difficult. For foraging, you collect more and more coins or whatever. In my game, you collect flies, buried treasure, and breakable pots because game characters are immune to property damage lawsuits. This diversity makes foraging less monotonous. Monotonous. What about spending? In World to the West, you can collect money and relics, but there is literally nowhere to spend the money, and you have to have found literally every single relic before you can progress to the last temple. That's terrible! Collectibles need to have a purpose, but they also mustn't be mandatory.
Using collectibles is what ties it into the game loop. When considering your game loop, it's more important to view the actions the player takes, not the actions the game developer wants the player to take. The player will only collect coins if they can spend them in later phases of the game loop.
Cooking! Or brewing, maybe. Not sure. Yeah, that sounds...
Brewing!
Brewing!
Bro, you're late.
Oh, shut up.
Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Oh, come take a closer look, honey. Okay, Mom. There's nothing. Ah!
Cooking and brewing will be the most cerebral part of this game. So I made a whole frog witchcraft system. How does that work? With the diverse ingredients you forage, you can cook potions. The ingredients have special properties, for example, thickening, spices, acids,
wet ingredients, sweetening, and so on, meaning each recipe is a puzzle to figure out.
If one portion of the game loop is obviously much more fun than the others, players will want to play the other portions less.
As for the effects of the potions, I'm basing them off of an Oila Popular Science magazine's description of witch abilities. Why are you looking at me like that? This isn't bad.
Without spoiling the game loop, which isn't finished, I'll just say that potions help you beat future levels, enabling you to explore more and starting the cycle all over again.
Recap! It's time to recap via frog rap.
Alright, it's the frog rap. Let's go, let's go! Clank the Frog King, yeah, he's mean, Nolene, and green. He recruiting little froggies to help with mass murdering. But here's the scoop, there's a game loop. Cycling back and forth with a little froggy group. Looking in the bushes, cooking all the mushes, and running around in circles till you fall down on your touches.
Postscript.
I hope you like this. Let me know with a comment or a thumbs up. Over and out.